for the High Knob area up through here. I want to think it's something like the High Knob Conservancy Center or something like that. I'll look it up and try to put it on here. The sign, City of Norton, gateway to Flag Rock, High Knob Recreation Area. If I can zoom in a little more. I don't know how steady that's going to be, but I guess you can see him way off in the distance. I'm gonna try to get on the map and look and see exactly what we're looking at over that way, but you can see for a long way. I don't know if that's coyote tracks or a dog, and somebody may be in here with their dog. Found a place here, as you can see, probably back here behind me. There's a fire pit over there, but I did get my tent set up here. Guys, we are on the hunt for some firewood. Well, hey guys, BiLlHiLlY Adventures here, and you know what it means if you're seeing this smiling face again. That means we are headed out on another adventure somewhere. Today's going to be a little bit different. I do have my companion Shadow. Hey girl. I do have my companion Shadow with me. She's going with me again today. This is going to be a bit of a different adventure. What we're doing today is we are headed to a place up in Wise County, Virginia. We are in Southwest Virginia. So we're headed up to Wise County, Virginia to a place called High Knob. It's a mountain up in that area. It is in the, I think that's the Jefferson National Forest area is where that's at. It's not too far from where we had did the video, where we put up the video, the last couple of videos from Bark Camp Lake. It's not too far from that. Those are actually a few mountains over in behind where we're going to be at today. It is a pretty area up through there, but this one is going to be a bit different. I don't have a hammock with me, and so if you've watched this channel any at all, then you know that I'm pretty much a hammock guy. I prefer the hammock over anything else as far as sleeping out in the woods, that type of stuff. But I do have a tent with me today. I do have the Naturehike Cloud Up 2 with me. It is an older model. I was trying to think earlier when I was packing it how long I've had that thing. I think I've had that probably 5 or 6 years, give or take, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 7. And I've never actually used it on an adventure. I've never really taken it out on an overnighter. I've set it up in the yard a couple of times and crawled in it just to see what kind of space is in it, how it feels, you know, when you're in it as far as room, you know, head height, that sort of stuff. But where we're headed today is basically going to be a car camp. We can drive right to where we're going to be at, and we can set the tents pretty much, you know, right by the vehicles. That type of setup is what we're going to be dealing with today. But nonetheless, I'm getting ready to pull out here. Just wanted to update you guys and invite you along on this adventure. I'm headed to pick up the long-bearded rambler, Daniel. He's going to go with me on this adventure. But we wanted to invite you along and bring you along with us. We do appreciate you guys supporting the channel and subscribing to the channel, following us on social media. If you've not done that, that's a great way to help the channel and support the channel, is to subscribe, like, share the content, follow us on social media, those type of things. But nonetheless, we did want to bring you along with us on this adventure and take you with us. So let's quit the talking and let's get to going, and let's get this adventure started. See, I'm out here in the sun. I am at Daniel's house, aka the long-bearded rambler. He's over there grabbing his stuff, making his way out here to the vehicle, and we're gonna get this adventure started. But anyway, we're gonna get packed up here, get on the road, and we're gonna head that way and see what we can get into. Back over in there behind me is the road that's going to go up on the mountain up here, but I wanted to stop here just a second and show you this is a new place they built, which is going to be part of the High Knob. I really don't recall the name of it. I'll try to look it up and roll it in on the screen here so you can see what it is, but they've just built it. I'm not even sure if it's actually open yet, but let me turn this camera around and show you. Again, guys, this is a new facility, new building they built here. It's for the High Knob area up through here. I want to think it's something like the High Knob Conservancy Center or something like that. I'll look it up and try to put it on here. But it's brand new. I'm not even sure it's open. Parking lot here. And then over here in front of me will be the road that goes up onto the mountain. But we're just up here. Stopped to take a break, really to let the dog out for a minute and see how she's going to react here, and then we're gonna head on up. But we'll bring you back here in just a minute. Guys, you can see right there is a trail marker going up. If you wanted to do some hiking in here, and then right here is the sign: City of Norton, Gateway to Flag Rock, High Knob Recreation Area, which is where we're going on top of High Knob, but we're going on the far back side of it. Wow, why do I drive a Jeep? Not sure, guys, if you can see that little deer standing there right in the center of the screen, but there's one standing there just looking, not a care in the world. We're on our way up the mountain here, but just seen that deer standing there. Wanted to try and get a shot of it. I don't know if I can zoom in a little more. I don't know how steady that's going to be, but guys, as you can see, we are still in the vehicle, headed around the mountain here. We're on this little mountain road. We've probably got, I would say, 20, maybe 30 minutes left to go. It's almost 4:30 now. We've been taking our time, but we're getting across the mountain here. We're basically coming across the very top of this thing, and we're going to cut and head back down the back side back here and actually cross over into a different county to where the place is that we're going to be camping at. But we're going to cruise on down the road here, and we will bring you back when we get on around here. Guys, we are at a spot where we think we might be able to camp. We're not sure. We're looking around. There is somewhat of a parking area here. And this is somewhat the spot that I thought maybe we could possibly maybe camp at, but we're gonna walk around here and look. But let's check it out. Don't know if y'all can see that helicopter in the sky right there coming behind that tree. I guess you can see him way off in the distance. Daniel over there looking around. I've seen some video and some images of this area on another YouTube channel. That was some pretty awesome images, but it was in the fall time of the year for starters. So trying to get a shot out through here and see what's down this way. As you can see though, there are some trails down through here. Four-wheeler trails, four-wheeling trails, but you can see off out that way there are some big mountains off in the distance. Well guys, we're just walking around checking this little place out here. Not a whole lot of what I would consider good camping areas, but there are a few places I think maybe we could set a tent. I'm not sure. But anyway, there are a little bit of some view here. It's somewhat grown up a little bit in the background behind me, but there are some views over here. But let me turn this camera around and I'll show you. Guys, I don't know how well that's showing up, but you probably see a few rock outcroppings over that way. But then when you look off sort of over this away, you can see those big mountains off in the distance over there. I'm gonna try to get on the map and look and see exactly what we're looking at over that way, but you can see for a long ways back over there. Pretty nice little area over through there. Pretty nice view, I should say. This area, as far as camping, I'm not real sure about. We were looking around, and I think potentially this little bit of a grassy spot, grassy area, we might be able to drop a couple of tents here. So we're going to look around, but we're going to check this place out and see what's going on. Guys, I don't know if y'all can see that bear up there, but there is a bear in the road right there. Well, guys, I don't know how that just turned out, that recording there. I flipped the phone real quick trying to look around and get a bear on there, but again, it's almost 5 after 5. We're still driving around here trying to find a place. It's going to get dark on us soon. There are a couple other spots out here. There is one for sure we've camped out before in the past. It's a pretty decent little drive around through there to get to it, but we could get there surely before dark. But we're still driving around trying to scope out a place and find a place. But I guess sometimes that's just how it goes. But anyway, we're going to drive on around here and see what we can find and see what we can come up with. What was it?
There's another bear.
Another bear back there.
Yeah, it was at that house.
Anyway, we're going to see what we can find. Maybe a bear, maybe a campsite. Well, I think they turned it into trails is what I think they've done, but... Top of that cabin.
Yeah.
What's that?
Rob, that chameleon tar. Sounded like it hit the muffler.
Guys, we are trying yet another place. This may or may not work out. We really don't know. We're gonna try it and see. Well, guys, we've stopped at another spot here and looking around trying to see if maybe there's a possible campsite here. I don't have a lot of high hopes, if I'm being honest, and but I'm gonna walk up here and look. But before I do, I did want to show you this, which looks like it's probably some coyote tracks. I'm gonna show you right here. Hold on, let me turn this camera around. Guys, I'm not sure if you can see that right there. I don't know if that's coyote tracks or a dog and somebody maybe in here with their dog, but you can see those tracks right there. And there is a little road or a little trail thing. Well, what was a roadway going up through here. I'm gonna walk up here and see what this looks like. We're thinking there may be a place to camp up here, but we're not real sure. Oh, got in the briars. Well, guys, as you can see, I'd say you probably could camp up here. I'm not so sure we can get the vehicle up here. The one I'm in today is not four-wheel drive, but well, guys, I'm just walking around up here checking out this campsite area, or what we believe is a potential campsite area. I think we could most definitely get some tents in here. I'm not sure if we're going to or not. There are a few places in here. I don't think we can get the vehicle up here though, but just kind of looking around. There's a couple probably tent spots in here, especially right here looks like, but I don't know if it's gonna work or not, so we're gonna go maybe look around a little more. I'll bring you back here in just a little bit. Well, guys, you can hear my dog, I'm sure, over there, but we have found a little spot here. We're not sure in terms of property and what's allowable and in here. We are on national forest. There is a already established fire pit here. There are some spots definitely to throw up a tent. Daniel walked on down that way. I don't know if you can see him or not to check out a couple of places, but we're thinking about maybe trying to make this work for tonight. It is relatively close to the road though, but we're gonna check it out here and see what we can come up with. Well, guys, we've settled on a spot here. Got backed in here. We are fairly close to the road, closer probably than we really want to be, but we're running out of daylight, and this was kind of just one of those things where we were looking to find what we could find, and so we found a place here. As you can see probably back here behind me, there's a fire pit over there, so we're going to give this place a shot, I guess, and see what we can come up with. We'll get the dog out here in a minute and string her up where she can kind of run a little bit on a runner of some sort, and we're going to look around here and figure out about where we can throw a couple tents up. Hopefully get set up before it gets dark, but I'll turn this camera around. I'll give you a little bit of a view of the site here. Guys, you can see it's a pretty little spot here. Pretty big fire pit. Camera probably doesn't do that justice as far as the size of it. There is some garbage in it, and we have noticed a couple spots of just a little bit of garbage around here. There's a few pieces of firewood we can use, and we're going to explore around here and see where maybe we can throw up some tents and get set up and get situated, and you can hear Shadow over here making her debut, wanting out of the vehicle. So I'm gonna get her out and string her up somewhere here on a bit of a runner where she can run a little bit and get set up, and I'll bring you back here in just a minute. Well, guys, as you can see, we're here. As we've already said, we finally got our stuff out of the car, our gear out, and what we're getting ready to do now is go ahead and set our tent up. As you can probably see in the video, we are losing light pretty quickly. It's getting dark on us, so we're going to try and go ahead and get set up here. May have to set some lights up as far as doing some recording, but we're going to go ahead. I'm going to try and get my tent set up. I'm probably going to put it right back here just in front of where the dog is, and get it all set up and see what we can come up with. Well, guys, we've got at least tents set up. We've not moved too much further beyond that, or I haven't anyway. Got everything kind of somewhat situated. Gonna get chair and table and stuff out and get over here by the fire and try to probably get up some wood. There is some laying around the fire already that we can probably use. We may have to end up gathering up some more to keep it going tonight, but we're basically set up as far as tent, that type of thing. Going to try and get some other stuff situated here, but let me give you a look around. Well, here you go, guys. I'll give you a look around. Just got my pack sitting there with some other junk by the tree. But I did get my tent set up here. This is the Naturehike Cloud Up 2. And as I said, I've not really used this thing out on an actual overnighter or anything like that. I did set it up in the yard a time or two. Pretty simple to set up. Your tent attaches to the fly in certain spots that pulls it out, which helps give you some more area. But as you can see, it is set up. Daniel's over there, got his set up, vehicle in behind him, and then of course you can see the fire pit there. And then, as always, Shadow, who does what she does best. If you can look around that tree right there and see, she's wrapped around it. But she's doing good. So anyway, we're gonna work around here and get some things situated, and I'll bring you back. Guys, I'll give you a quick look inside the tent, show you the room this thing's got. It does have quite a bit of room. It is a two-person, or they call it a two-person. I wouldn't want to sleep with two people in it. I think one and plus your gear, or me and Shadow, I'm going to say is going to even be cramped. But let me give you a look in here. The zippers are pretty good on this tent. I don't think they are YKK. I don't know. I hadn't looked. I don't think they are. But as you can see in there, there is pretty good room. When I get in there later, I'll give you a better look around and show you. But there's quite a bit of room in there. I think me and Shadow will do okay in there. If I let her in, I've not decided if I'm gonna let her in or make her sleep outside. I did bring a closed cell foam pad for her. I did bring a closed cell foam pad for her and a Wooby type thing to sleep on, some of that sort of stuff. So hopefully she'll be all right with that. I've not decided. I'll probably let her in the tent as long as she stays on that closed cell pad.
They said because it just don't put in that much enough pressure. More in it. Said if I'm going to buy one, he's
Luke.
well, this guy, hell pump. What's that? A different table?
Yeah, I've had this one. It's just too heavy to backpack with is the problem. Just trying to remember how this thing goes. I ain't used to this long. I think that's how this bad boy goes.
She's eyeballing you. You got that out. You got them sticks.
Yep, she wants at them, I'm sure.
Oh, look at her.
These ain't for you, girl.
She's like, you want to bet? She's like, but Dad.
That's a good dry wood there.
We need to trade.
Wonder how dry some of this is.
That one right there's real dry.
This one.
That big one.
Might still be too green in it.
It is down on the bottom.
It was already broke. I'll toss that to fire about the way it is.
Oops, my bad.
Break now. Burn that. That might be enough for now, Daniel. Well, guys, we are on the hunt for some firewood. I think I found another piece over here. So we're gonna try and see if we can't cut it down and get us a little more firewood. There's a couple over this way. So let's see what we can do. Treasure. I'll break him up and then I'll clean this fire pit out and then I'll whittle up some of them little ones and go ahead and get the fire going and get me a bed of coals. Guys, I'm not sure how good you can see this, but I've got a couple of just old Walmart bags I had in the vehicle there to clean up the garbage. This fire pit is full of garbage. Somebody's threw it in here, just trashed all kinds of garbage and stuff in here that needs to be got out in order to get a good fire going. Just tons of cans and all kinds of garbage in here. gonna have to be got out. So I got a couple garbage bags here, Walmart garbage bags. I'm just gonna throw it in it and we're gonna pack it out, and we're gonna leave the place better than it was when we came.
Yeah, I have a couple that's absolutely giving me a fit.
Yeah. I'm gonna take one of these sticks here and split it up a little bit, and probably I think will be enough to do what needs done. I would think, wouldn't you?
Do what?
One of them sticks right there, if I split it up into some real fine kindling, should be enough to get that started. Plus I've got some fire starter on me somewhere. Well guys, we're getting ready here. We're pretty well set up for the most part. We've gathered up a little bit of some firewood here, some smaller stuff, enough to get some good coals going, and if we need to, we've got some bigger stuff laying here. Brought my fire kit with me. This is just a, this really is just one of those plain old tackle boxes. Made by Plano, I think, is the name brand. I stuck that battle box sticker on there. That didn't come on it, but this is just one of those. It's a real neat way to make a fire kit. If you've never made one or had one, this thing is waterproof. You can see the red seal in the lid, and what I keep in here is just various fire starters. I've got a lighter, I've got some waterproof matches, windproof matches, I've got some just them little fire starter pieces. This is some of those homemade, like those makeup pads. You can dip them in Vaseline, whatever, and get them soaked up with that. I've got a fire bellows in here. I've got a just a striker for matches, a surface you can strike them on inside a piece of plastic to keep it dry, just in case you needed it. I don't know, I've got some fire grenades, I think they call those things. Got a couple little pieces of fat wood in here. Just everything really you would need to start a fire, to get a fire going, even if it's wet. Some of these, especially some of them little fire grenade pieces, I think those things will burn pretty long. So if it's something that was damp, you'd be able to get it going. But that's just a real light, quick, easy, neat little way to carry you know, your fire starter kit, and it be waterproof. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this thing floats if it gets in, like, you know, standing water, it'll float, it won't sink. So it's a good way to keep up with it. I have seen people even on these back pieces right here put a little lanyard piece through it so you can clip it to something, maybe on the outside of your pack, or if you're kayaking and you know you're going to go camp at some point, you can clip it on there, and that way if you flip, you're not going to lose this. You can at least start a fire, get dried out. But what I'm going to do right now is got some small pieces of wood here. I'm going to just baton down a couple of these into just a little bit of some fine kindling to get this fire going, so I can get my steak on the fire and get it going. And I've got a potato with me. I'm going to see what I can do with it. I don't know if I can get it done on the fire or not, but I'm going to try it. So let's get it done.
Oh, 119 also showed a picture talking about, it's like Jesus is still a Jew. And it wasn't even really a picture, it was just a graph. It was a graphic. Somebody mentioned the fact that it didn't show the face, it just showed, you know, like you could tell it's supposed to be an image of Jesus. And that lady on there went plumb nuts.
What was her issue?
Huh? She said, you're talking about making idols, and here you are making an idol. They was like, she was like, that's an actor. And they was like, that's just a graph. That ain't even a real person. And she was like, well, you're spreading idolatry by showing an image of Jesus or whatever. Anyway, she went off on that forever.
Well, guys, I batoned down just a small piece or two of wood. This fire pit's about big enough I can sit on the edge of it, so that's what I'm gonna do. Get my stuff out here and get this fire going. I'm probably going to use a little bit of a fire starter here of some sort. I've got this old thing here. It's the only one left in the pack, so let's use it and see how it does and see if we can get this fire going. Generally what I do with these is just break them in the middle, expose those fibers, and once you do, generally they'll burn pretty good. Give them a twist is usually a good way to get them opened up as far as fibers, and then you just light them.
Don't let me have it. Here.
Guys, a lot of people use a rubber band or just whatever around their lighter so that when it's in your pocket or even in a kit, if it gets pressed up against something, it won't let the gas leak out. I just use Ranger bands, and that's because I've got a bunch of them, but they work pretty good.
You got your little tube there to blow that fire?
Yeah.
I'll look up real quick. I don't think there is though.